got a great opportunity. I've got one of our competitors' frame that we need to do a reprint for a client. Good opportunity for me to show you the differences between our straight frames and our competitors' straight frames, okay? You'll see a few differences here that we carry on into our curved frames as well, okay? This is our competitor's frame, the second one in the row, this is ours, okay? One of the main differences that you will see straight off is our thicker center pole, all right? There's two reasons why we do this. Number one is this, and we used to do it this way as well. Right? This center pole, this center support, is about a 15mm pole, as is our same 30 or 32 or 42 or whatever it is, the thickness of the tube that we use. Okay? So it's the same thickness as our frame. This is 15mm, this is 32mm. This flexes. You see that? All right. This does not, or nowhere near as much anyway. Okay, so what that stops is that bowing in the top that you get when you put your print on, and it's a nice tight print. You don't have any bowing. Number two, okay, we changed this middle pole more so for the fact that, you know, for us. And the reason being is when we're setting up 50 to 60 of these a week, and because we test every single print, okay? So when we do a print for these, even if it's a reprint, we test it on a frame, make sure it fits. So when we're doing that 50 or 60 times a week, one of the most frustrating things for us was we'd get our print on, we'd go to zip it up, and this center pole would pop out. Bam. Over and over and over and over again till it drove us absolutely mad. I'm serious. It was the most frustrating thing. And then to have to fiddle around with it like that to get it back in, it was so frustrating. Simple push button. The way everything else connects, we've just added a simple push button so that this is not going to come out. Okay, so when you get your print on it, it doesn't fall out. And I tell you, if you've used this stuff a lot, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've used ones before that have this skinny center pole that just has a hole in it and it just plugs into the hole, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're gonna go, yeah, finally, okay? And we did this years ago. We fixed this years ago because it's off too much, okay? So that's number two. Number three, and you're not gonna be able to see this probably from the video, but I'm gonna tell you, is our frame is slightly heavier than theirs, not just because of the extra middle pole, but for this reason, is that our pipe is thicker, and not thicker as in diameter. The wall, the aluminium wall of our pipe is thicker. We use a 1.8mm thick wall of our tube. This, I'm guessing, is about 1, maybe 1.2. So it's much lighter. Now what does that stop, right? And how does that help? Okay, when you're setting this up a lot, or when you're shipping this a lot, what we found is you would get a dent in one of these open ends. Now, if you've used this stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about. You have an open end, the female end of this pipe, and it either gets bent in shipping, or where your staff or yourself sort of throw this stuff around on the floor when you're setting up, and you get a little dent in the open end of the pipe. And then you got to plug this back in. Oh, doesn't fit. Now that's fine, it's easy fixed if you're in a workshop or something like that. But when you're at the show, when you're setting this up and you've got a bump in, you've got to get it done fast, you don't have time to fix that if you can fix it at all. It is a pain in the butt, right? So this extra thickness in the wall stops that. Now, since we've changed, we haven't had any issues. Even my guys here that work here, they throw this stuff around and we don't get those dents in. So that's number 3, is it? Okay. So, number 4, you'll notice here the feet, we use a thicker, a wider foot, more stability, obviously, but that's not the main reason. That's not the best thing about our feet, is we use, again, just a simple push button, okay? Push button foot. Right. So when we move this around, the feet don't fall out. You see that? Okay. Competitor's frame. Every time you want to move this around, feet fall out. Right? And then you get the pain, especially when you've got a print on this to try and get these feet back in. The thing falls over everywhere like what it is now. Right. So you get them back in, and then you want to move it another couple of millimeters, it falls out again. Right. We don't have that. Our feet don't fall out. Okay, I think that's number 4 or 5. Right. Something that benefits us a little more, but also guys who set this up, you go to your show and you've only got a tight space to set this up. What we found is we used to use the same as everybody else, shape to shape, e.g. a star to a star, a triangle to a triangle, a square to a square. Number one, we ran out of shapes because a lot of our stuff is getting bigger and more extravagant. We ran out of shapes, so we started using a numbering system. Number 1 goes to number 1, number 2 goes to number 2. That's fine, it works great. But what we found is when we're setting this stuff at shows with tight spaces and we're doing a lot of it and you have a lot of different things happening, and you guys will benefit a little from this, is we now have a numbering system which is T1 to T1, T2 to T2, T3 to T3, B1 to B1, B2 to B2, and so on. What that means, T1 is top, T for top, B for bottom, right? And we do this simply for, we've done this, set so much of this stuff up. When you're in a tight space and you've got to bump in and you've got to bump in fast, you need to know where the top is, because there's nothing worse than setting this up in a tight space, setting it all up on the floor or whatever, and then go to stand it up, oh, you've got the bottom at the wrong end, you can't twist it around to make it, so you, at least knowing where the top is, you can start working, you can think about how you're going to set this up. A simple change that costs nothing extra, that makes just life so much easier. That's it guys, and I'm sure by the time you watch this, we'll have made more changes for the better, and that's what we do here. We look at things and we solve problems, we make it better, we make it better. The other guys, they're just making the same stuff they've been making for the last 8 years. Okay, so by the time you see this, we've probably made another favourable change. Thanks guys.